I'm Jessica, and welcome to Audacity. I am here with my best friend and confidant, Mr. Adrian Gardner, aka DaReal AG. Welcome to Audacity. And today we are going to have some very uncomfortable and hard discussions on Black masculinity in the 21st century. So first of all, thank you for being here today. Some background on Adrian, you guys. He is not only a middle school, right?
Yeah.
Middle school math teacher, certified teacher in the Atlanta Public School District, but he is also a upcoming rapper. And let me tell y'all something. When this guy told me that he was going to start making music when we were 18, I had no idea he was going to be this talented and making this many moves, and the price is going up. So I'm super excited for him. This is my bestie right here, y'all. And I am so excited that we're here to have this discussion today. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We go back. You know what I'm saying?
We do.
We go way back.
10 years.
Right. Jesus.
10 years this year.
Jesus. Wow.
Yo, we used to talk about having a reality show following us around for college, and now this would be like part of like our little spinoff series, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Right, we in the spinoff phase now. We at the phase now, just like Jersey Shore, where it's time for us to do family reunion vacations once a year.
Right.
We can all get our little coins. But one of the things I appreciate so much about my dear friend Adrian, y'all, is that he is really doing a lot of the inner work in this movement that we're seeing with the millennial generation, particularly within men of color, to redefine masculinity. And so first things first, I appreciate that you're doing that inner work because it shows. And I think a lot of people could benefit from you to say, being a Black man, being team dark skin like myself. Y'all can't tell because the way the light is on me right now because I got the white shirt on, but I'm a chocolate lady myself. And, you know, with that being said, there's so much that comes with gender roles and expectations. And I love that you're working on crushing and redefining those things and making them work for you, because misogyny and patriarchy doesn't benefit anyone. And I think that's what our generation is really starting to rediscover. So to kick you off with a seemingly easy question, and I say seemingly because it's very deceptively deep. What does being a man mean to you?
Being a man means to me. Well, like, honestly, and I think this kind of gets to what we're talking about today, that has kind of changed. You know, when we're growing up, we have our basic, you know, thing that they say a man's supposed to do, you know, provide, take care of his family, you know, be the head of the household type situation. And I would say as I've gotten older, I would say that has changed as far as those aspects, but just kind of what those things actually mean. You know what I'm saying? When we're younger, they just tell us those things and they kind of keep it very, very like vague. They don't, you know, fathers, they don't really like go really in depth into it. You know what I'm saying? At least like, you know, the generation before us, you feel me? They were all about work, you know what I'm saying? Work. You feel me? So a lot of the times as a man, your worth could kind of be, look, what's the word? Your worth is kind of justified by, you know, how much work you do, how much money you can bring in, or what you can do, you know, what you can do to support your family and everything. But I feel like now a man is somebody that you have to, I still feel like a man does still have to provide. You know, I still feel like a man does have to be the head still, but that doesn't mean a man has to have total control over the household. And you know, it's still a partnership. And I feel like back in the day, it was kind of less of a partnership and kind of like a dependency relationship, because, you know, like you said, women didn't really have a lot where they weren't allowed to do a lot. So the job of the woman just was to kind of make sure that while I'm out here in these streets working, or for some people otherwise, just out in these streets, you make sure that the house is, you know, so you make sure that the house is straight at home. You feel me? I just feel like now, just as, like I said, you know, just the kind of this inner work that I've been doing, it's like, it's really just a partnership now. It's like, you have to be a support. As a man, you got to learn how to provide, but at the same time, you got to know how to listen. You got to know how to still be submissive to a point. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong being submissive to your woman when it comes to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Listen to your woman and all that kind of situation. Nice stuff. So I feel like,
it's such a challenge because as men, y'all are taught something, like you said, like it's very vague. And so when women come and present to you and say, actually, what we're asking you for is X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
That can lead to some miscommunications of like, well, I did this. Is this not enough for you? It's like, no, it's what you're doing is great. But what I'm asking you for is boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Right? And it's like, it kind of messes some people up because it's like, okay, my whole life, before I met this person, it was just like, okay, I know this version of man is supposed to be this kind of way, this kind of way, this kind of way, I'm supposed to have this, and this. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of times if we hear that conversation where it's like, no, all this stuff is cool, but I actually want this, and this, it kind of messes us up because it's like, dog, I've been doing this whole time, and now it's like I gotta basically bring another part of myself that I'm not even used to bringing.
Right.
Like especially when it comes to the emotional aspect, things of that nature, the tenderness aspect. Sometimes it's like, as men, that's not a big focus. Like they don't tell it, like when you're younger, your dad doesn't tell you to, like, you gotta be, you feel me? You gotta be softer sometimes with your woman. You gotta be more understanding. It's a partnership. Like I didn't learn that kind of stuff until I got older.
Yeah.
And then I feel like unlearning those like certain behavior, the thing that we were taught, you know what I'm saying, just as a kid growing up, like that's a process. You feel me? Right. It's a process unlearning those stuff. Just like how it was a whole process for that stuff to get drained in our heads and in the society and all that. It's a process that, you know what I'm saying, as a man, every man personally gotta take that first step to be like, you know what, I wanna unlearn some of this. Some of this not so great stuff that I learned, even though I thought that that what it meant to be a man. You got to unlearn some of that stuff and tweak it so that, it can work best for your situation and your significant other and just in society in general, because there's a lot of stuff that, you know what I'm saying, just as men, we need to kind of get together that's really harming society for real, for real.
Well, and recognizing that men do have emotions, like it's very interesting. And of all things, I saw this on Twitter, but you're like, the biggest marketing scheme is that women have been branded as emotional because we cry, but men have somehow, they're not considered emotional, even though men get to be angry.
Yeah.
We'll see men screaming and flipping tables somewhere, but they're like,
that's emotional too.
Exactly. But if a woman cries, then she's like super emotional. And scientifically, learned this from my dad, Dr. Wise, men go through more hormonal cycles than women do. Women have hormonal cycles once a month, right? Men go through hormonal cycles almost every day.
Yeah, see, I ain't even know that.
Right. But somehow women have been branded as emotional. Not only have we been branded as emotional, but we've been branded for emotion to be considered bad, even though scientifically, if we're going by these theories, men are actually set up to be more emotional than women are biologically.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Right?
Tell me something new then.
The more you know. That's what we do at Audacity. We exchange information, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it explains a lot. That kind of explains a lot, because it's like, honestly, and it's like, that's kind of like the thing that kind of makes the whole masculinity thing kind of tough for some dudes. I feel like, and I feel like that's why some dudes who aren't already confident in who they are kind of have identity crisis, because it's like, dang, it's like, I'm a man, I'm supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, strong and tough and all this, but I feel these emotions. I feel so many emotions. I'm sorry. It's like, but I feel so many emotions and stuff, and it's like, what's going on? Like, am I still a man? I feel like that was going on with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? They're like, am I still a man? I feel all these kind of emotions. I feel emotions regularly, you know what I'm saying?
And emotions are biologically part of what it means to be a man. Like, that's something that I think what people could benefit from knowing and learning, for sure. Because once you understand, oh, biologically, this is actually normal. I mean, if we're going by the old school way of thinking, which is that men need to provide, men need to make money, men need to be tough, they need to be strong, that puts so much on your mental health and your emotional health. That puts so much pressure on you. Like, can you imagine how many emotions are being bottled within men right now if that's the kind of thinking they're walking around with? And then it presents itself in ways that are negative versus in ways that are, you know, a little bit more healthy and everything. Like, even certain things that are considered like not to be masculine, like doing yoga. Yoga would be so helpful for men to do. It would be so helpful. Yoga, Tai Chi, you know, all those things that are considered quote unquote feminine workouts and everything. But yoga forces you to tap into the mind body connection versus heavy weightlifting. While it's all fine and good, you know, there's nothing wrong with whatever workout someone chooses, but heavy weightlifting can be considered, for men at least, more of an ego thing versus a tapping into the mind body connection of mental health.
Yeah.
So, ooh, y'all, we got a lot to unpack here. I'm having a good time already. So that being said, we're redefining masculinity here. I personally believe that Black men can lead the charge in what we've been seeing with redefining masculinity. And here's why. Black men are already at the bottom of the totem pole for patriarchy. When it comes to like the social society rankings of manhood, unfortunately, y'all get placed at the bottom. And obviously it gets worse with other intersectionality. So like, you're Black, or you're dark skinned, or you don't have as much education, or you're gay, or you're trans, you know, like it just keeps going. But the first strike you have against you as a man is being Black. So that being said, though, y'all still have the same benefits of being a man. So Black men can't walk down the street without fear of getting shot by police, right? But Black women have to worry about that. And we have to worry about being raped, and we have to worry about being shot by civilians who, you know, want to ask us on dates and we say no. And we have to worry about all those things happening to us and us not getting the same media coverage that Black men would. Breonna Taylor is a great example. No one cared about Breonna Taylor until George Floyd, unfortunately. Nobody was really talking about her a whole lot. That being said, though, Black men are kind of in a really sweet spot here between peril and privilege. So how do you think, as a Black man, that you navigate that throughout your life? You're living in a spot of peril and privilege. How are you navigating that, and how would you like to navigate that ideally?
I feel like, honestly, one of the best things that can help with that is just we got to get closer to the Black women, because I feel like right now it's just a bit divided, and like, you know what I'm saying, we're not as close as we need to be. Other cultures, you know what I'm saying, even though other cultures may have their little gender roles or this or whatever, but you always see other cultures that at least more paired together with their women. You know what I'm saying? At least from what I've seen, you feel me? I feel like we have Black women and Black men butt heads very, very often. And I feel like that's something kind of put into play by society so that we can't be as strong as we can as a people, honestly. Fair. You feel me? They find different ways to pit us against each other. I feel like as a Black man, I feel like that's the first thing we need to do is, you know what I'm saying, start listening to our women. Actually listen, not hearing, listening, you know what I'm saying? Because I had a conversation with somebody like, women, you guys always tell us what's wrong. We just got to listen. You feel me? Everybody isn't willing to listen.
Exactly.
You know,
women do not move the target. A lot of people think that we just be coming up with stuff, but most of the time, if a woman is telling you the same thing over and over, that's not her moving the target. That is a woman saying, I'm telling you this again because I care about you and I would like to see you do these things. And I also think, as a community of Black men and Black women, there has to be some kind of admission that there has been a level of benefit in misogyny and patriarchy that has not been helping this community at all. I think there has to be a level of admission. I think somebody online was like, you know, can we all just call a truce and get back to loving each other? And I think for women, especially, we don't want truce, because a truce would imply that there's been dual negligence. And while there has been certain levels of dual negligence, there's also been levels of misogyny that have been thrown upon us that we didn't create that system. That system's been created by men. And so until men can say, okay, you know, this is a system that we have created that has been oppressive to you, I think we're going to have a very hard time getting to that what's the word? Getting to that point of peace. Especially because within the Black community, we have so many things going against us already. The last thing we need is misogyny, you know? And like we were saying earlier, it doesn't benefit anybody. So, you know, and I think that comes down to the question that we've been discussing here, where it's privilege and peril, where you're kind of in that sweet spot here. And it's a matter of, okay, how can we make this, instead of doing this, how can we make it do this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, y'all, it's getting deep.
Yeah.
This is a Sunday.
I feel like that's like, I feel like one reason I can kind of like hit back to what you kind of said a little earlier as well. It's like that admission. You feel me? I feel like that doesn't come because I feel like a lot of men, like, we know we go through stuff, you know, so we go through a lot. We go through stuff in our own, you know what I'm saying? Right. We go through day-to-day stuff. And I feel like a lot of men, we can't admit that because we feel like, you know, where do we get, what do we get out of the situation? A lot of it we don't see this, the big thing that we don't get, and a lot of the injustices that we face kind of overshadow those small things that we do get because we are men. You feel me? And I feel like a lot of us can't really see that until you really just pay attention to it. And like I said, actually listen to a woman tell these things from like y'all perspective and stuff. Because, you know, some of the information that you just told me within these past, like, what, 5-10 minutes is like new information to me. You know what I'm saying? Then like the way you put it at where Black men are at that special place between, you know, how did you describe it?
Privilege and peril.
Yeah, you feel me?
I might name it that, actually. I think that's a good title for this.
Yeah, privilege. Yeah, between privilege and peril, definitely. So I feel like, yeah, and like I said again, that just starts with, like, you know, as men, we got to be more receptive to information, and we got to be, you know what I'm saying, just more open-minded and open to listening. You know what I'm saying? We can be real hard-headed at times.
Yeah, you can tell. Say that again. But to be fair, like, I do understand that, like, it's hard when you got bullets flying over your head to, you know, to think about all the additional layers with the people next to you. Y'all's goal is like, okay, survive, survive, survive. That being said, though, some of the most successful militaries always worry about the guy next to them or woman next to them some kind of way. And I think we could do so much more in this battle against oppression if we came together, like you said. So I do agree. And I think once we start seeing that, once we reach that impasse, or we're at that impasse now, even, I would say, once we really everybody just put everything on the table, talk to each other, have conversations like you and I are having right now. I think if more people did this, we could get further. So hopefully this gets lots of views, guys. Make sure y'all like this, comment on it, share it. I think this is important for lots of folks to see. So, you know, we hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. We're going to keep going, though. We're going to keep segueing. So all that being said, actually, I'm excited to see that we are on the same page and that other people are also on the same page these days in the realization that patriarchy and misogyny does not benefit anybody, men included. Men do not benefit from patriarchy and misogyny because y'all are not allowed to have emotions. Like, it just does not help y'all.
It doesn't.
So being a Black man, and hence being at the bottom of that male hierarchy, patriarchy totem pole, is that something that's always been apparent to you? Because I know we're making new discoveries in this conversation, but is that something that you've noticed? Being somebody who also doesn't benefit from certain levels of patriarchy, is it becoming obvious because you have a strike against you as a Black man as well?
Yeah, it's like, it's something I've definitely noticed because, like you said, it's like we can notice that it's certain things that we, you know what I'm saying, have access to. It's certain things we do have access to because we are men, you know what I'm saying, just in society. But at the same time, like you said, it's like when we wake up in the morning, when we see stuff on the news, it's like another Black man that got killed, another Black man that got locked up. You know, all these situations, you know, Black men hard for us to get jobs sometimes. When we get in the system, it's hard for us to get out of the system, you know what I'm saying, judicial system type situation, you feel me? A lot of us are judged and are not even given certain opportunity for jobs and stuff like that because of, you know, the color of our skin, how we look, how we talk sometimes and everything. So I've always noticed that it was like, we're kind of in this little area where it can perceptibly seem like we have, you know, like we have more than what we have, but at the same time, it's like, damn, like I still feel so far from what I'm trying to accomplish.
Right.
So it's like, it become more apparent to me, just as, like I said, just the more that I have a lot of conversations with women, so I have a lot of female friends. I have a lot of, exactly. I work with, I work in a school, I work in education, which is, a female dominant, profession. You feel me? So just as me just having more conversations with women, things like that, I've just kind of seen how, that little pocket that Black men kind of fall in, you feel me? And it's kind of, it's just becoming more apparent.
I want to talk about that actually as your career as a teacher. We're going to get into that. So you are very fortunate to live a double life because oh Lord, you have gone through a few careers. So y'all, Adrian also went to Georgia Tech. He played football for Georgia Tech. He is also a rapper. Follow him at DaReal AG. And he is also, as we know, a teacher. So in these many careers, you have been able to actually enjoy expressing your masculinity in very different ways. Do you find yourself presenting differently in the classroom versus when you're on stage or in the booth?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because like it's kind of crazy because when music is like, a lot of time music is kind of focused on the younger generation, you know what I'm saying? So so I've kind of been able to, like, for the longest I was trying to keep those two worlds separate, you know what I'm saying, the music world, and then DaReal AG from Coach Gardner, or from Mr. Gardner, I try to keep that separate. But when you're working with kids and everything, it's like, a lot of times the music is kind of how I bonded with them, you know what I'm saying, how I got a better rapport with them and everything like that. And it's really just kind of like, how can I say it? It's just you gotta it's like you're still kind of putting together performance a little bit.
Right.
You gotta know what you're trying, the message that you're trying to get across. Even when I'm doing my music, it's still a message that I'm trying to get across, no matter what the song is. It's still a specific energy or message that I'm trying to get across. When I'm in the classroom, I gotta get across, you know what I'm saying, these math problems. You feel me? We gotta learn these math problems. We gotta get this, this content, you feel me, that we need to learn. So I would say that since I deal with younger kids that's like 12, 13 years old, where, a lot of them, when you're 12, 13 years old, they're middle school year, those 3 middle school years, your hormones are everywhere, you know what I'm saying, all that. Like,
listen, we just got out of middle school on the low. You went back. You can't tell me you went back.
Right. It's like, you know what I'm saying, your hormones everywhere. So it's just like, just at the end of the day, it's still like it's still all about finding that level where you can relate to your audience.
Right.
Once you find out with kids, once you become like relatable to them, when they feel like they can relate to you, once they feel like it's not just I'm the teacher, you're the student, you feel me? I'm the adult, you're the child, you know what I'm saying? You have to listen to me, you know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing, whoop, whoop, whoop. It's not like that. Once you see that, it's really just like it's really kind of like a partnership. You working together in the classroom. Once you know what I'm saying? And it basically kind of go back to what, like I said, what we were talking about with Black men and Black women. Once you understand that it's not like where one person has dominion over another, or like where a person has to, give up control or whatever. Once you realize it's teamwork and it's a partnership, that's kind of what made it, you know what I'm saying, makes everything easier.
And so it's nice to have Black male teachers. I can count on one hand how many I've had. Even when I was at Agnes Scott, there was only one Black male full professor. And if I recall correctly, I don't know if it's still that way or not. I graduated Agnes Scott in 2016, but there was only one full-time professor who was Black. And so the lack of presence of Black male teachers, I feel like definitely sets it up to where kids can have prejudices going forward anyway if they're not exposed to Black males, you know?
Yeah.
So the fact that you're a Black male teacher, one, that you're a Black male teacher in Atlanta, two, because obviously, like, Atlanta's Black, like, we need to normalize Black male teachers in Atlanta. And the fact that you are a millennial teacher, because I know you weren't playing about that slap your teacher challenge that was running around on TikTok.
I said, y'all better find y'all somebody to play with.
I'm telling you, millennial teachers were not having it. They're like, we grew up listening to Nuck If You Buck. This is not the time. We young enough still. This is not the time.
And these aren't the same teacher where you just feel like it's an old lady coming in with an apple on the desk. No,
that time is over.
That ain't it no more, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I know is like education has become a younger, you know what I'm saying, profession. The older people are moving out of it. Education has become younger, you know what I'm saying? You do have, you know, teachers that are younger coming in, you know, different methods and everything. Just like how you said.
Yeah, like it leads to new ideas for education instead of this whole like, you listen and you listen, you know, it's more of a, all right, class, let's come together in a circle, you know, like it gives pass to like, you know, just like we're leading the charge for redefining masculinity and redefining all these systems that have not been working for us. We can now, the very thing that it begins with is education. So I love seeing millennial teachers, and I love seeing Black millennial teachers for sure.
It definitely, man. Like I was trying to say that I was talking with someone a little while ago. It's like you gotta give people like another version of the Black man. You know what I'm saying? Like Black man, and the Black man in media and anything else, like we're always portrayed as this certain type of, you know what I'm saying, person. I can't name how many, I can't honestly name a movie where a Black man, you know, actually is seen as, you know, an educator, or as seen as, you know, something that's not just as outlandish, you know what I'm saying? We always seen as, you feel me, a gangster, or you feel me?
The magical Negro.
You feel me?
Yeah, the magical Negro who helps the white guy along his journey. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like little situation like that, we're always seeing as something that can be negative, or something that just has to be, like you said, something that just had to be super, super duper manly, you know what I'm saying, type situation, you feel me? You gotta be you know what I'm saying, a cowboy or something like that, you feel me? Like they don't really show like. And education is a profession where you have to have a certain level of tenderness, you know what I'm saying? You have to have a certain level of, you know, nurturing, a certain level of patience that usually isn't shown in Black men. You know what I'm saying? Black men aren't shown to be patient, for real, for real.
Right.
We aren't shown to be patient, we're always shown to be angry, you know? So I feel like that's kind of good, just to let kids see that you can do something different. You know, you don't have to just be a certain type of Black man, you know what I'm saying? Well, I got tattoos, you feel me? But I can still teach you how to do the Pythagorean theorem, you feel me? So,
I'm trying to remember what that was. A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, say you almost failed math without saying you almost failed math. That's not me. Well, that being said, though, staying on this track of education, this is actually going to be our last question. A child's first experience with misogyny, male or female, usually occurs before they even hit puberty. And you're teaching children who are in the full swing of puberty at the moment, right? So as a middle school teacher of, I'm assuming mostly Black children, because this is Atlanta. Because this is Atlanta.
I teach in Clayton County, County, College Park.
So as a teacher to these kids, how do you work to prevent misogyny from making itself known in your classroom? Obviously, you can't do anything about what happens once they leave and everything, but what are you doing to make sure that things are fair and equal in your house?
First and foremost, I let them know that like first day of school, like, yo, this is a team, we in this together, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not no thing where I'm just like, yeah, I'm the teacher, I'm over y'all, y'all have to listen to everything I do, this back, whoop, whoop, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I have certain expectations for them. I ask them if they, you know, what they need to, what they expect from me and everything. Everything builds upon respect, male or female, you know what I'm saying? Black, white, everything builds upon respect. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's really what it is. Like once you have respect for another person, just as a human being, that's the first step. Because a lot of people, they don't want to admit it, but they don't respect a certain human being based on gender or based on sexuality or even based on economic status. It all starts with, just respecting people for being a human being. And that's kind of what I like instill first and foremost in the class. You know what I'm saying? I don't teach anybody differently from, I don't teach my lowest student, I don't talk to them any different from what I would talk to a gifted student that I know is going to be in the top class next year. You feel me? And like I said, and I also show that throughout, like, how I interact with people in the building. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta really, when it comes to kids, you gotta really be a model for it. You gotta show them. Like, you gotta show them, it's, like I said, it's a respect thing. You feel me? I'm gonna talk to the custodian the same way that I'm gonna talk to my principal.
Right.
You feel me? Just kind of like, that's the main thing that I do in my class, is like respect. You feel me? It's just, you gotta respect teammate and just let people know that, there isn't a ceiling to what you can be depending on your gender or depending on what, you know what I'm saying? If you want to get into music, male or female, get into music. If you want to be whatever, you feel me? Do it because you want to do it, not because it's like, oh, I'm a young man, this is what I'm supposed to, or because I'm a young lady, this is what I'm supposed to do. No, if you want to go in that field, go into it.
Right.
If you do what you want to do, just know it got to take work. It's going to take, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to learn how to work together with people. That's another thing I try to teach, is that you're going to have to know how to work together with folks. You feel me? You're going to have to learn how to work with, you're not going to have your coworkers are not always going to be male. Your coworkers are not always going to be female. And you're going to have to know how to work with each other and still have respect with each other without it being some kind of little mess going on. You feel me? So it just respect. The main thing is like respect. I'm big on respect and effort in my class. You know what I'm saying? That's really how, and like I said, I just try to be a model.
Right.
And, just by me showing, because it's like, anybody can see it. Kids see a lot of stuff on a daily basis. Kids see rappers that's with guns in every one of their music videos, you know what I'm saying? Kids see rappers shooting and rapping about, you know what I'm saying, killing, whoop, whoop, whoop.
You're doing all this and whatnot. Like, can I just say this about you too? Like, y'all, what I really love about AG's music is that, for one thing, he don't rap about anything that he hasn't done. He isn't going here acting like he's somebody that he's not. Okay, he has had a very good life, and he has had a very good life, and he's gonna tell you that he's had a very blessed life. Okay, he's not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, and I grew up with the rats, when he did not. Like, I love that. But also, one thing I really love about your music is that I have never heard a misogynistic tendency in your verses at all. Not one time have you disrespected a woman on your track, ever. And I think people make the mistake to think that you can't have a career, you can't be a rapper, you can't be a man without disrespecting women in some kind of way. And I've never seen an ounce of that behavior from you, either, obviously like in our friendship, but also just like in your music, where you would think that would be like the open door for someone to behave that way. And like you said, you practice what you preach.
Yeah, because it's like, and that's what I be trying to tell the kids too, because that's why I kind of made sure that I kind of brought those two worlds, like my two worlds together. You feel me? To kind of show them, like, because even now, like, I done did like two songs with the school, like 2 music videos and stuff with the school. Both of them have won like awards in the county. Like, I know one of them have won a national award. You feel me? So, and then, like I said, my kids will see me doing this school music, and then they'll see me doing my regular music and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You may hear a little more, words, but may hear a little more just because,
yeah, that's the grown people stuff.
But at the same time, it's like, what they listening to now? You feel me? The stuff they're listening to now, I don't even bring that same kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? I told them that, like, I even have students who rap and everything, you feel, who have come to me saying, hey, listen to this. And I tell them, like, that's fine, but you sound like somebody else. Find your own voice. That's not what you live in. You feel me?
Right.
You don't do this. You feel me? Find your own voice. You feel me? You don't have to be somebody that, You know, a woman don't just have to be seen as an object. I got a song where I literally tell stories about women that I know. I know different kind of women. I know tell stories about women that I know, you feel me? Good and bad. So it's just like, but you can do all that without being disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? Without, you know, without all the making a woman just feel like an object of, you know what I'm saying, without making it feel like they're just this thing.
Right.
Plaything that you can do what you want. And then a lot of things that's in music is it's a thing that I can take from somebody else. You know, so I can take your, you know, you feel me?
Yeah.
It's kind of trying to change the narrative, man. It's all about changing the narrative and giving them something, you know, different to look at it, something different to, you know, take in.
I absolutely love it. All right, y'all. Well, we have come to the end of our conversation, but we would like to see this continue. If you like what you have seen today, comment, share this video across all of your platforms. This will be available permanently on our website, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube channel. Thank you so much again, Adrian, aka DaReal AG. Make sure you stream his album on all of your major platforms. The album is called AG 3 AM. This album is not for your children. Okay.
Nah, not for your children. And for when you put the kids to bed. When you put the kid to bed, you feel me? Call 3 AM for a reason. When you put the kid to bed, you know what I'm saying? Feel like, you know, try to be on your, you feel me, on your little rough tight tip. You feel me? But you know, I got a little song for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I got something you want to shake, something. I got something you want to just, you know, just ride. You know, got a little song for everybody.
Thank you so much again, guys. We look forward to continuing this conversation with you guys. Again, if you like what you see, please share it. Please comment. Let us know how we're doing. And until next time, we will see y'all soon.
Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. Thank you.